What's up everyone, Alex here with Off the Cuff Reviews. I am back again to bring you guys a special new video. This time we're going to be getting into my top 10 list for movie villains. So let's get into it. Number 10 might surprise you, but it is one of the best movie villains ever created. And that one goes to Freddy Krueger. Of course, there wouldn't be a top 10 movie villains list without this man. He has scarred children for life. When A Nightmare on Elm Street came out in 1984, it changed horror movies forever. This one was revolutionary. It was made possible by the character Freddy Krueger and how scary he is. Number 9 is Norman Bates from the Psycho movies. So I put Norman Bates on here because he is a classic for movie villains. This is one that is more realistic because it kind of plays on some aspects of people that have done horrible things like this in real life. And I think it just works very well, and I think his character works very well, and it's still scary to this day. It holds up. Number 8 goes to one of my favorite movie villains of all time. This is one that I think you guys all know, and I think you guys would probably agree with me on having him on this list, and that is the Joker. So the Joker from Batman is and always will be one of the best movie villains, and on top of that, he's pretty much the arch nemesis for Batman, and Batman wouldn't be Batman without the Joker, in my opinion. And of course, the Joker's character wouldn't be as iconic as it is without the one and only Heath Ledger, because Heath Ledger brought a new life and a new spin on this character and really put this into the mainstream and got people really enjoying this character and the villain. And of course, it spawned its own origin story film called Joker that stars Joaquin Phoenix. I think I did a review on this channel for that as well. So it's just one of the most iconic movie villains of all time, and you can see this in its own work and spawning generation after generation after generation with more and more actors playing the Joker. And I just think that that character really deserves a spot on this list. The next one on this list might actually surprise you, and it is a villain from The Matrix. So The Matrix is one of my favorite films of all time, and I feel like this list wouldn't be this list, especially this list wouldn't be a list from me without this character, and that is Agent Smith, of course, from The Matrix. He is bar none one of the best villains to ever be created. He can spawn himself into multiple versions and just clone himself over and over and over again and just fight you non-stop, and that is what is really holding him down as one of the best villains. He's just menacing. He has this really menacing voice, and the actor that plays him just does a very good job, and is definitely one of my favorite movie villains. Number 6 on this list goes to Hannibal Lecter. I could not make this list without Hannibal Lecter. Of course, I know I keep saying that, but Hannibal Lecter is an amazing character and has a lot of depth in this character, played by one of the best actors to ever live. Now, I think that Hannibal Lecter really does a good job at sparking fear in people. It even has people creating lines from movies and shows that don't exist because you can just picture the character saying those words, and he doesn't actually, but it's just so creepy, and people quote things that aren't even real quotes from the movie because that's just how good of a character Hannibal Lecter actually is. Number 5 on the top 10 movie villains list goes to Voldemort, he who shall not be named. So Voldemort is a character from the Harry Potter books, if you guys are not aware already, and Voldemort is the perfect villain and the perfect antithesis for Harry Potter and the perfect person to fight for Harry Potter and in that Harry Potter world. I think that the character for Voldemort is just filled with so much depth and so much anger, and he's just the perfect villain for a person in this world. J.K. Rowling did a really good job, even though she is the person that shall not be named because she's canceled. She did a really good job at writing this character because Voldemort is just awesome, and I do recommend you guys go watch those movies. I definitely had a really fun time with them, and that's why Voldemort made this list. Number 4 on the top 10 movie villains list goes to Jason Voorhees. Jason Voorhees is an iconic horror film character in the Friday the 13th franchise, and he has spawned generations and generations and generations from past to present to future, and will continue to just ravage the film community. Jason Voorhees is one of the most perfect characters for a movie villain, and on top of that, his own mother is probably even more iconic than him. Jason Voorhees has so many kills in so many movies, and he's just taking anyone that is there, he's just destroying everybody, and is probably one of the best movie villains of all time. Number 3 on the list for top 10 movie villains goes to Michael Myers. Michael Myers is the star of all of the Halloween franchise except one film where he's not in it. They try to do something different. Every single other film stars Michael Myers. Michael Myers is the perfect movie villain. He's actually one of my favorites in any movie that I've ever seen. He just brutalizes people, just brutalizes communities, and just brutalizes everyone on Halloween night, and he's basically indestructible at this point. Michael Myers is one of the best movie villains of all time. Number 2 on the list for the top 10 movie villains goes to someone that you guys are definitely not expecting, but hear me out. Number 2 goes to Hans Landa from Inglourious Basterds. So Hans Landa is a Nazi, and that is why he's making the top 10 movie villains list. He is brutal, he is unflinching, he's violent, he is sweet sometimes, but he has a very dark side. This is one of the most perfect movie villains of all time, but nothing can compare to the number 1 top 10 movie villain. That goes to Darth Vader. Of course, I cannot make this list, and I cannot have anyone else in the top spot. Darth Vader is the number 1 movie villain of all time. From the fact that he can literally just use his mind to choke people out, it's insane to me. And everybody knows Darth Vader. Everybody knows the voice. Everybody knows that he is the best movie villain of all time. There you have it, everybody. The top 10 movie villains list. If you guys like this video, drop a comment down below and let me know what your top 10 movie villains are. Who is in your top spot? I'd love to know. Let's chat about it. Tell me why you don't agree with my picks, and I'll tell you why I agree with them. That's cool. And if you guys like any of this content, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and maybe even hit that Patreon button in the description, and I'll see you on the flip side. Stay safe, everyone.